I'm Dr. Sharon Barnes with ADU Advantage, and today we have the awesome opportunity to talk to Joe Belmontes with JBC Design and Build, located in the Inland Empire. If you know me at all, you know that I am passionate about accessory dwelling units and all things real estate in the Inland Empire. So bringing local talent and opportunities to our community is one of my greatest joys. And a few weeks ago, actually a few months ago, I met Joe at a networking event with the Black Chamber of Commerce Inland Empire. Now, I want to put a plug out to them because they're celebrating 10 years here in the Inland Empire. And as one of the founding members, I want to just say how proud I am of that organization, of keeping it going with the young entrepreneurs and business owners that they're bringing together, making connections and helping, improve and grow the Inland Empire. They have youth business conference, they support small businesses and getting in the room. I love networking because I never know who I'm going to meet. And meeting Joe is one of those things. I walked into the meeting, had no idea, and had one of the members introduce me to him. And he is building ADUs in the Inland Empire, and he has something that I've been searching for. I've been talking to a lot of contractors, a lot of builders, and Joe has something that I've been looking for that I couldn't find in the Inland Empire. So during this conversation, he's going to share what that is, and we're going to tell you how you can come and take advantage of that as well.
Mhm.
So again, if you haven't seen me before or join us, please be sure to subscribe, connect with us because we talk about accessory dwelling units. We want to make sure that you understand them. We try to empower our homeowners in our community to leverage the property they already own and control. And so we build a lot of strategic partnerships. And so, like with Joe, ADU Advantage is like a fusion with Joe's skill and craftsmanship in building accessory dwelling units and remodeling and providing architectural services to the Inland Empire. We're there to help educate and empower you and to introduce you to local talent so we can improve our community one house at a time and one property at a time, empowering our community through home ownership, through accessory dwelling units and the strategies of wealth building that surrounds it. So again, I can talk because I'm excited, but let me introduce you to Joe. So Joe, I want you to just kind of like tell people who you are and a little bit about your company. And really, I really want to understand like your roots in the Inland Empire. What has that meant and what is your vision for the Inland Empire, especially when it comes to home ownership and accessory dwelling units?
Hey, Dr. Sharon, thank you for having me. My name's Joe Belmontes, and I'm a general contractor, general engineer with architectural experience and landscape architecture. I've been in business since 2011. I partnered up with my dad, who's a concrete contractor. And it wasn't until till last year ago, I partnered up with my structural engineer to create these ADUs that, it's a hot topic at the moment. Um, and essentially what we want to be trying to do is create sort of like an ADU that can be built in a faster pace than other contractors can build it at. Um, so what we did is came up with an idea that and essentially what usually takes 4 to 6 months to get an ADU built, we can build it in half the time of that within 2 to 3 months. So it's really an awesome thing that we have here going on, and I just want to share with everybody who would benefit from it.
And that's awesome. And so we talk about you can build an ADU in like 4 months, and we're talking primarily with the construction period. But we know that prior to that, we have pre-construction and the planning. And you're from concept to construction, And I'm trying to be a partner here on the side so we can help, get people there to take advantage of it. But can you tell us a little bit about the pre-construction and the architectural support that you give and why that's so important when homeowners thinking about doing an ADU? A lot of them don't even understand what a full set of drawings are, what the permit process is. And I know we're not trying to go into a lot of detail today. We will
Yeah.
have a follow-up seminar to educate. But I didn't want to skip over the pre-construction and people thinking they can get A to Z ADU in 4 months because there is another process. So can you talk about working with the cities, local agencies on that pre-construction part?
Well, each city is different. So
Right.
each city now should have a pre-approved standard drawing. What that means is that if you use their pre-approved standard drawing, a permit process should take between 2 weeks to a month. When usually, if you don't use that process and you create your own ADU drawings, then you're looking at about 2 to 3 months just for permits, and then
Right.
another 3 or so months for construction. So that's half a year to get the ADU done. So
Right.
anybody who's looking to build quickly, that's not the way to go. Um, but I mean, it is an option for anybody out there who doesn't want to, pay an architect, and get those drawings done and submit it to the city for them. So, I mean, we can recommend to use standard drawings, but they're probably not going to get what they want.
Okay, because they're kind of like the modular type of things that we're used to. There is a floor plan, and you really can't change it if you go with a standard. You can't move a door, you can't add a window. Certain things you can't,
Yeah,
you can't do. Correct?
correct.
And and that just brings up one thing too. When talking to a lot of homeowners, and people say, "Oh, ADUs, you're talking about those tiny homes." It's like, no, they're not tiny homes because tiny homes are usually on wheels and a vehicle chassis. But I really want people to start thinking about accessory dwelling units as that custom home they can build in their backyard. Now, if you
Mhm.
think of it as a custom home, because it has to be built to the same construction standard as any developer, any house, the house that you're living in now, okay? Number one, it like you kind of mentioned, if you do it from a ground up or even depending on what material you want to use, but use it from an architectural concept, you design that house, custom design that house, right? And it's going to be a new build, usually energy efficient, updated appliances, recessed lighting, solar, I mean, all this stuff. And so if we think about it, an accessory dwelling unit like a custom home, I mean, you really are getting closer to the start of a journey that you really can't complete. So,
For
yeah.
sure. Yeah, yeah. And like I said, you can build from 500 square foot home to 1,200 square feet. In some cities, they only allow up to 1,000 square feet, but still, it's big enough to do a three-bedroom home. And essentially, sometimes it's bigger than the actual house that's already there. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's incredible what you can build right now.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's like when you bring up that, the state law allows them to build 1,200 square feet, but I have seen where the it's only 1,000 square feet is permitted, and most of the time that's due to utility lines and easements that's on the property that they can't meet the setbacks or be safe if they build larger because of some of the attributes on the property. And that brings me back to the pre-approved drawings and still needing site plans, feasibility, you still need elevation drawings, you still
Yeah,
need the trenching and so forth. So can you
entire
talk about
construction.
that? Because some people think that they can just buy these pre-approved plans and that you just go plop them on the lot. I mean, even modular homes don't do that.
Yeah, they don't. I mean, some cities even they help you like just draw something up for you and you can use a site plan, but they have basically a standard drawing that you can use, but you're still gonna miss a few things that you can still have to pay out somebody to help you out with because you're not if you don't if you try to do it yourself, it's gonna take you much longer than it should. So I
Especially,
definitely
especially
recommend.
to get the permits, right? And there's like usually like for inspection. So I mean, if you have to get your utility connections and sewer, all that stuff inspected and approved before you even lay the foundation sometimes and that type of thing. I mean, you are going to need architect and contractors to
Eventually,
support
yes,
you.
eventually you're going to need somebody that can help you out with the drawings and help you understand exactly where you're getting because you don't want to go jump into something that you don't understand.
Right.
Now that's why they have you here that you can help them out with this.
Yeah, because we go through it, like you say, every lot is different. I mean, because we know, I mean, if you just step back and look, your lot that you're living on is different than your neighbor's lot. Okay, and I don't care if you live in a planned community or in a rural area, every house sits, a little bit different, the different measurements and so forth. So you do need to have that site plan and some information about your property. And it's more than just eyeballing it because, I
Okay.
mean, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, no, yeah, you're right because if anybody doesn't they don't if they don't have an idea what they want to build and you just go to the city and tell them, oh, here's a standard drawing, you can use that. But you might have a big property or a lot that you can do something else with it. And
That's true.
if you don't hire somebody that can help you out, you're basically in a dead end, and you're just gonna have to go with what the city gives you and not knowing though you have so many options.
Right. As the options and then some of the things that we find out when we do the feasibility study, because I've had properties in West Covina that had liquid fraction problems that maybe you don't want to build on that side of the yard. And that's where you see all this space. Or out in Joshua Tree, out in the desert, where you got this big old property, but you got four wells on there and you can't build on top of a water
Yeah,
table.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So there,
Or a
there
septic tank.
yeah, oh, not to mention septic and
Yeah.
whether or not you can get approved or need a separate one and that type of stuff. So there's still the need to have a team that's from architectural concept all the way through. Even, we want to do value in engineering. We want to give the maximum for the homeowner and so forth. And so if that's utilizing standard plans and different things, that's great. But we shouldn't, I don't want them to think that they can get a standard plan and they don't need an architect. They don't need to worry about permits and everything because a lot of the paperwork is still the same, and you're going to need
Yeah.
professionals that know what they're doing.
Yeah. It just depends on the client. If they're trying to save some money and then kind of do it themselves, there's a way they can do it, but they're gonna get to a point where they're gonna wish they had a good team behind them.
Right, exactly. So Joe, can you you have some examples or some clients that you can tell us how they're utilizing the accessory dwelling units to leverage their property, maybe create some generational wealth. We know that some are using it for rental, some are putting businesses. What have you seen and what tips can you give?
Lately it's all family oriented ADUs, either for their parents or no, their kids are in college and they need their own space. A lot of people are using it for rentals because it's really something. This is something crazy that's going on that for every ADU you don't require any parking space, and that is something huge because some lots don't have any more space to put cars. So the fact that you can build another accessory dwelling unit in the back without worrying about the parking is huge. And I think within I don't know how much time this ADU thing is it might not last very long because we're gonna end up like downtown LA where now you're gonna have to pay for your parking to stay on your own street. So I think that this is a really good time to take advantage of this because might not be a long lasting.
You're
Uh,
right. Right. And I understand the parking concern and that we don't, it's not required to have parking. But that's one of the things I got so excited about in the Inland Empire because we have some deep rectangular lots.
oh yeah,
We
yes.
have we have our, one house on 2 acres or even an acre and a half. We have so many lots that's over as 10,000 square feet. So really with these architects these days, I mean, I've seen, the fourplexes or 4 units or adding over the garage and having more than not only on-site parking available, Because if it's rental and say it's senior rental, you don't want anybody to park on the sidewalk and walk 200 yards to their front door at 70 years old carrying
Yeah.
groceries, okay?
Yeah.
That your tenant base. But we have these lots in a lot of our Inland Empire cities that we can actually build a detached ADU and put a garage on it or a carport right next to it and drive up one side and even have outdoors. I mean, I've seen landscaping where we got the fire pits and kind of
Oh,
like
yeah.
you have. You got the
Yeah.
fire. We got the fire pits. We got the. It looks like we're in an oasis or on a retreat, right?
Yeah.
And that helps with the rental income. But I want to back up too when you talked about a lot of them are for families, and that's what I'm seeing. And that's why, as a consultant and working with families, we have to think in terms of phases. So phase one is let's get the ADU built. Okay. Phase two, you have to think of who you're building it for. And I am finding also that most people are building it for adult kids and parents.
Hmm.
Where I come in with some of my clients is to work with them, say if they're business people, we can create a family business, put people on payroll, collect money, be the landlord, okay, make it work.
Yeah.
If they're not, I've worked with families, so we teach them how to utilize the living trust as the landlord, where you can document what this understanding is. You can charge rent, you can do whatever. I mean, and I tell them, some people say, well, I can't charge my mother rent. Well, if she's getting Social Security, you better charge her rent because she's not allowed to just stack up dollars.
Hmm.
And we expect adults to pay for housing. So she needs to pay something so that she doesn't mess up her benefits and so she can fill out the application about what her housing expenses are. But what we don't think about is that nobody tells me what to do with that money once I collect it from my mother. So if I want to send her to visit grandkids, if I want to send her on a cruise, if I want to pay for the housekeeper, that's all on me. I may need to recycle those dollars for the benefit of my mother,
Uh-huh.
but for the leveraging to truly take advantage of the laws and the opportunities and building wealth, we need to, kind of do that. And one of my first clients with my accessory dwelling unit, one of the first ones over in Rancho Cucamonga. She says she was building this ADU because her son was too grown to be coming in at 3 o'clock in the morning at her house. Okay. But he couldn't afford anything. So
Yeah.
she said he can go out and work, he can party and whatever, but he gonna come down the side of this house into his own unit. And yes, I'm charging him rent. And we're gonna pay off that whatever it costs to build this ADU. And we're gonna save the extra. And when we get enough, we're gonna help him build a house or buy a house. He's going to build an accessory dwelling unit so he has some income. And by that time, his brother's going to go out there. That was her transition plan to get her kids out from high school
That's a
graduate,
good plan.
to the backyard to ownership with an income mentality. And so we have to think about that because affordability and wealth building, we have to think a little bit different. So it's going to be a debt, but it's going to be something that we have to leverage and to benefit the family and think about the long term. And
Yeah.
once it's no longer needed, once the kids are out the house, once the grandmother is no longer living in that unit, then we think about the fair market value, how it looks, and you can rent it and help supplement your retirement or your lifestyle. So
Yeah.
this is an opportunity now before it gets crowded, and I think it's a great opportunity for the Inland Empire because when I first started learning about ADUs, I'm like, we have the smallest houses and the biggest lots. If we don't start, and it's like
Yeah, do
build what
something
you
with it.
build what you can today because see, I'm kind of opposite you. You said that it might not last. I'm thinking build what you can today because next year when the laws change, you might be able to build another ADU. You may be able to build four on a lot. You might be able to, it's just crazy because where it's going because the housing crisis is real and we're
Yeah.
going to have to leverage what we have. And I just believe that what the state and the agencies have said is that the housing crisis is real. It's all hands on deck. If you have a garage you're not using, if you have land behind your house that you aren't really utilizing to its full potential, we need you to think about creating houses. for you, for your family, or for your community, for
Yeah.
your veterans, for your seniors, for your single mothers, whatever your heart's passion, but we need all hands on deck. And so now I think that, with you, myself, and other people that we have in our network that's working together to create housing, it's like we need to let the community know that there's a team of professionals here in your area that can help you leverage what you're already own and control and live a better life for you and your family. So
Yeah, and
I'm
it's a
excited.
benefit. It's really a benefit for everybody, honestly. I think that
Right,
anybody who can, if you don't have the money, you can finance it somehow one way or the other. And I don't know, in 4 or 5 years, so it's paid for with the rent.
right.
And it's just a benefit for everybody. And I think anybody should take advantage of it.
Exactly. And then we look at, rental income and the debt, but we also get value in the property value going up. I mean, this in the average starter home in Los Angeles is 1.2 million. We're not that far behind
No.
in Riverside and whatever. But now think that you have a $400,000 or $500,000 house and you add an ADU, just with the increase in value, you get to be kissing $1 million worth of asset. Plus,
Yeah.
you got it cash flowing. So it's no longer just a 30-year debt that you're paying off. It's actually income producing, and you're actually an investor. And
Mhm.
so it's not necessarily simple math, but it is generational wealth building math and
Oh, yeah.
lifestyle type
Definitely.
math.
Yeah.
And we never had this opportunity before. Not the average homeowner. Now it's like, come on, why you do it before you start having financial issues and sell your house, and then the next person come in and you drive by and it's like, how did they get 3 units on it? You could
Because they
have
had
done
the
that.
right team.
Right, right. And you could have done that for your family. So we don't want you to miss that opportunity. Joe, we've been talking. Okay, so I know we're going to have further conversations online, and we're going to have a seminar in person in the
Uh-huh.
Inland Empire. Okay, and so we'll be stay connected, turn on the notifications so you can know when and where it's going to happen. But we do have an event coming up that I want to promote. But before we give the details of the time and date for that for that event, I want to talk to Joe because this thing that I was searching for that he has. Hey. And that is, he has a showroom. He has a show place where he features accessory dwelling units and what he can do, and you can see his work and so forth. And I've talked to hundreds of homeowners in the Inland Empire, and a lot of people want to touch and feel the ADU. They want to actually see what can be built. They're not comfortable buying online, just what they see on Instagram, just what I can show them as a tour on YouTube. And so I understand that, and with everything going on in the world today, that's a level of security that some people need. And Joe saw that need and he fulfilled it. So I want to know kind of how you came about, like the concept of having this showroom and what benefit you think it is to the community, and just tell me about it.
Well, this concept came. It was a an idea of mine with my engineer. We were working on another addition on a house in Orange County, and I told him. I remember we were sitting down in his office, and I told him, you know what? He's an Asian guy. I thought, you know what, Chief? We need to come up with an idea where we can build these because everybody was talking about ADUs, but nobody had built anything. And we need to come up with an idea where we can build this ADUs faster than any other contractor out there because that's going to be our key in to basically streamline these ADUs.
Right,
Um,
right.
and he had a property that he was thinking of adding square footage to the house. I told him let's not add square footage, but let's just do ADUs here where we can show these as samples for anybody who needs an ADU. This is what they're going to get. Anybody who can see these ADUs and come in and film and walk them through them, that's what's gonna either say either a quick yes or a quick no.
Exactly.
And uh, this was 4 or 5 years ago when we started talking about this,
Wow.
and we did this ADUs just last year. So this is our first open house, and this is our and I'm excited to just show it off to the Inland Empire if we can. With your help, of
Yeah.
course. Yeah.
Yeah, hey, I'm excited, and like I said, I've been looking for it because when my clients and people interested in ADUs wanted to see one either in progress or that's being completed, the problem we had with showing ADUs is number one, they're being built on private property.
Yeah.
During the construction phase, the liability for insurance and the dangers to go have people floating around a construction site is too
Uh-huh.
high, and the homeowner nor the contractor want that kind of liability. Once the ADU is completed, the homeowner is very concerned about strangers walking on their property and seeing exactly what they have, getting the layout of their backyard, and it's just another security issue.
Uh-huh.
So it's kind of prohibitive to have, an opportunity to see an ADU that a contractor or a builder have actually completed and that type of thing. And so and having this showroom is something that I think is really excellent. I know I've had the opportunity to tour certain ADUs in the Los Angeles area. I know that we have like 3D printing and other innovative solutions, and they have communities and things out in the desert you can go look to. But actually, in our Central Inland Empire, to have the opportunity to come see the ADU, touch and feel it, see the materials, so you can make a decision is just an awesome opportunity. Now, I want you to tell me because you did an ADU, a junior ADU, and you have framed so they can see. So let's talk about the ADU. How big is that ADU? Tell us a little bit about that one.
We have a junior ADU that has to be considered a junior ADU has to be attached to the main house. Uh,
Right.
and that's a 440 square feet ADU, a one bedroom, one bathroom, a kitchen and slash living space. So that's
Okay.
that's a junior ADU, and then we have a detached ADU that's 740 square feet, two bedroom, two bathrooms, a kitchen and a living space and pantry area. So big enough for I think what people really need. Obviously, I have more plans of bigger ADUs that we can actually build, but and that side I just wanted to get something under 750 square feet so we don't pay those impact fees that are being charged.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And the 440. So am I correct? I think the average garage two car is about 420 or
Yes.
440. Okay.
Something like that.
So
Yeah.
okay. So in that, cause and the other reason why people want to see is because they see these small ADUs, small square footage, and they can't really imagine the bedrooms in there even as a studio. You just don't think you have that much room. It's like me sometimes you've seen a vacant lot and you've gone by this lot and you couldn't imagine. You go back by there and they built a whole strip mall. You're like, I didn't think it was big enough for that. All right.
They find a
But
way.
yeah, so that junior ADU, that's one bedroom, right?
Yeah, that's so that can be
Okay.
easily converted into a garage conversion could be that.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, and I think that that's really key for people to see because to see what you can fit into that 500 square feet or less, and a lot of times that garage conversion is like the low-hanging fruit that is the first one that we can actually achieve
Uh-huh.
before maybe get to the detached. So definitely, I think it's worth seeing. I think it'll really open people's eyes. And then on the larger ADU, I think that was the one that you actually have. They have the opportunity to see the materials and the finishings that you
Yes,
offer, right?
yes. And the 740 square feet, a two bedroom ADU, we have some cabinet samples, we have material samples in there so that they can basically choose their materials of the finished cabinetry, finished flooring, stuff like that, so they have options. I
Okay.
like I like to give options, so I
Okay.
give as many options as I can.
Oh, exactly. Now, finally, there's another structure there that I was pleased to see, and it's unfinished. And can you tell me a little bit about the concept and the benefit that you saw in having that structure there on location as well?
Well, the main idea of these ADUs is that structure because the whole concept of this ADUs that we're doing is basically to streamline these ADUs and make them build quicker. So by designing a process where we can essentially build the roof and the floor and then just raise up the roof and put in panels that are prefabricated at site or wherever we need to, makes this framing um, idea much faster and it works because we have the engineer on site all the time. So
Wow.
framing that would take a week to get built, like we can build in a day. So imagine
Right.
quicker and quicker and quicker, and that's how we can build these ADUs fast.
Right. Yeah, I just think this is really awesome for our community, for even in Southern California, because just like we had Inland Empire people driving to LA and Orange County trying to see ADUs, now you can come to the Inland Empire. And I think it's a very important or can be a very determinative step for you to actually see the ADU, to see what can actually be built on your property, to see the materials, to see a ground up construction, what's in the walls before all the installation and stucco and everything goes on it, and to meet the contractor and his team. And a team that can not only help you from concept to design, but you have the consultant and myself asking questions and being a resource to you and giving you a number of resources. Joe and I both have financial people and resources that can talk to you, and we can figure out the finances. You can get it financed. And a lot of people say, well, how much does ADUs cost? And as we've talked this on this brief conversation, it depends on whether you're going to use a pre-approved plan or what size, what your lot is like, whether you're on septic, whether you have soil problems. So we can't just, it's not like buying a pair of shoes. I say, I've been saying it's kind of like going to you decide you want a pair of sneakers, and you decide that you're going to go and you're going to get you some Nikes, and you go to the door of the Nike store and you say, how much do tennis shoes cost? How much does Nikes cost? Like, what
Well,
size? Kids, adult, men, women, so, all this stuff. And so this is kind of where we're dealing with in accessory dwelling units, is that you have to make the determination and understand what it takes for your lot. But I think this is an awesome opportunity. So let's talk about this opportunity because, like I said, I am so happy to find a contractor, a company in the Inland Empire that has a showroom that we can bring people to touch, feel, make decisions, and answer your questions in reality, in concept of what you can actually build. And the question should not necessarily be how much ADUs cost, it's really how much can you afford.
mhm.
It's just like when you decide to go to the car lot, you know whether you're going to Honda or the Mercedes. Okay, you know whether you want a Maserati or whether you just want a Accord. Okay, you have to know what
Yeah,
what
yeah.
can you afford, what lot. I mean, we drive down to the Auto Zone Center and we see all these lots. We knew which one to pull in when we had a reasonable chance of obtaining what we wanted, a new car, a used car. We have made at least some decisions. So we need you to at least do that. And then we're here to put the fine, tunes on it, answer your questions so you can make an informed decision about proceeding. So with all this said, we really want to welcome you and give you an opportunity to come see um, Joe's showroom, their JBC Design and Build. They have their showroom in Fontana. They have an upcoming event Saturday, the 26th, from noon to 5. You can come and see these amazing ADUs, the junior ADUs. Meet Joe, meet his team, talk to me. I will definitely be there. And we can help you start your ADU journey to help make it a reality and be in your community, support you, and give you all the things you need to create your ADU, change the wealth dynamic of your family, get some retirement income, some generational wealth going, just a secure place for mom or adult children. we're here to support your dreams and to help you get started. So again, Joe, would you like to give that address, or are we going to send out a link for Eventbrite? Then maybe we can do
Yes,
that.
I would have you. You can that way you can send anybody who wants that address. You have it up. That I sent you the that flyer, so you have
Okay.
it for yourself. And as soon as I get the link, I would send it to you so that you can send it to anybody else, and that way we know how many people can be out there. And
Okay.
we have a little mixer and chit chat
Right.
and just answer all the questions anybody would have.
Right. Yeah, it's going to be a great opportunity now. It is in a residential neighborhood, so you need to come. You may have to walk a little bit because we expect a lot of people to be there, but we are going to send out a link where you can register. And if you can't make this event, please don't hesitate to send me a message. Let me know you're interested. We can set up a virtual call online to talk about your particular situation. And when you're ready to go and it's time to see the ADUs, we can coordinate with Joe and his team and I can get you in there. We'll be doing periodic tours for small groups or individuals. So this won't be your only opportunity, but I believe it will be your best. So you would have everything you need will be in the house. The contractor, the architect, the finances, the consultant, the realtors, everyone will be there. So this is an event where if you're serious about starting your ADU journey, you need to be there on July 26th from 12 to 5 in Fontana. And check the links below or send me DM or anything so that I can reach out to you and give you the information. But I hope to see you there. And again, Joe, I'm so
Hey,
excited to be
I'm
in one of your partners,
I'm
bringing
excited too.
housing
I
to
mean,
the Inland Empire.
I didn't think I was gonna get to this point, and I finally got here where we can just streamline this and just show everybody what can be done. I mean, this was the purpose of it, just to show people that no, this is what you can build if no, if you're in it.
Yep.
So I'm
I
excited,
love it.
and I mean, I couldn't have said it better. You're just the perfect person to put it out there. So I'm glad I met you.
Yeah, it was a perfect timing, and I'm just so excited. And again, I just think that in the Inland Empire, we have the need, but we also have the opportunity. And we really just want to empower people to take advantage of this opportunity. And because this is a very turbulent times we're living in,
Yeah.
and we do have to band together. And we got generational, people living together, and the ADUs is a great opportunity to do that comfortably and to make a difference. And I'm just excited to know you, Joe, for having you as one of my strategic partners, and especially being rooted in the Inland Empire. I just keep saying Inland Empire. I love Inland Empire, but we have just kind of been the last because San Diego is on fire for ADUs, Orange County. LA is like crabs on a barrel. Okay.
Yeah.
And we had all our contractors like you going to LA working. And it was like, who's working here in the Inland Empire?
You know,
We
it's tough. A lot of my work is in Orange County, ADUs too.
right.
So I'm just excited that hopefully I can get this going here and don't have to,
Right.
stay in traffic for hours to go to Orange.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, I think it's our time, and we want to just empower as many of our community members and homeowners as we can, and create some housing here. So
Yeah.
thank you so much, Joe. I
No, thank
appreciate
you.
it, and we'll be doing this again because we have a lot of things, a lot of people to help, and a lot of opportunities to offer them. So
Yeah,
thank
yeah.
you.
So and let's get in touch and we can do a seminar at the site too if we need
Okay.
you to
Yeah.
and just just blow it up there to the people
Yeah.
so they can see it.
Yep, we will. All right.
Right.
So we look forward to seeing you on the 26th, and you
26.
stay tuned so that we can continue to bring you information and opportunities to make your ADU dream a reality. See you soon.